Alright families, this is pre-OCTC meeting. Just a little bit of information before we go out the door for a month to a place where we have a little bit limited access to internet and cell phone reception. So before we get into it, I just want to apologize for not doing this meeting in person with a potluck or event like that. I didn't realize there was so much interest in it, and Rachel made me aware, and she said, hey, next time let's make this a regular event and let's get some people face to face so they really have that network that they may need. So again, my apologies for not putting more effort into that, and I promise that we will start doing those potlucks regularly so that we can get a face-to-face meeting in. Alright? Just wanted to reiterate our mission statement, and as we head out the door to OCTC, remind you that we're here for you even during deployments. Rachel and I both served earlier this year in an FRG during a 3-month training tour overseas, and we were able to help several families with things. We were able to get documents for home purchases, link people in with family services, get some people who were struggling with depression the help that they needed, and on the lighter side, we were able to put together some simple get-togethers to break up the daily grind that we all tend to fall into when our spouses are away. So we'll get more into that later, and for now let's just hit these key tenets and remind all of us what the FRG is really meant to be. This time away, please remember that although it's not a combat deployment, we're absolutely focused on preparing for the eventuality of combat. By using this little mini deployment to practice your family systems without your spouse, you help him prepare for his duty to the nation and make him a great asset to the unit. I'll be sending information back to Rachel to get out to you all via email and text, which from what I've heard, the service out there is not very good. So regardless of whom you know in other units, please take everything you hear with a grain of salt until you hear it through official channels. There's been a lot of heartache in a lot of FRGs because families fail to realize that each troop has its own schedule and may be doing different training at different times, and most importantly, they'll likely have different redeployment dates. So take everything you hear with a grain of salt, and if it's not from official channels through the squadron or through me, then there's a good chance it won't apply to us. In the 3 weeks leading up to our redeployment, the mortars are going to be focusing on EIB train up. Okay, that's just your mortars, so if your husband's a mortarman, you know already that he'll be back with you. The thing about EIB train up is with how important it is and what a discriminator it is for promotion, those are probably going to be later nights. You're looking at him getting free around 1700, and then he'll have to go get back to the troop, clean up, and still get home to you. So those should be later nights all the way up until test week, the 17th through the 21st, and those who continue through the EIB test after the 17th, the PT test, should have relatively short days. They're usually done around 1500 with testing, and sooner for those who get to the front of the lines for all these tests. For everybody else, you can see I've kind of highlighted when we're going to be busy and when we're going to have a little bit of cell phone coverage versus no cell phone coverage. And like I said, cell phone companies aren't huge on putting towers on machine gun ranges, so the times that we're on a range and we're shooting a lot, also bearing in mind that everything we do in the day and the night. So when we're on a range, we're there 24/7 without cell phone coverage because nobody puts a tower on a machine gun range. So these days right here, the 6th through the 8th, the 9th through the 11th, those types of days where nothing's highlighted, we will be kind of focusing on maintenance, laundry, just basic upkeep type stuff. So you can't expect a text or phone call for those who have service because we'll be primarily around the barracks motor pool doing concurrent training. You can see the 16th through 18th, that's 3 days solid, and then going straight into the 19th through the 24th. I write hit and miss there because I'm not really sure what that schedule looks like. That's really driven by the aviation brigade, and so it may be one day of planning and another day of execution, then another day of planning, another day of execution. The rhythm in there is just really hard to see right now, so bear with us as we go through this time, and then know that Rachel is going to try to do a get-together here roughly around the 15th, kind of do like a mid-tour breakup type thing, try to break up the monotony with a little get-together, and then I'll send out an update just prior to our redeployment so that we can get you guys some more refined redeployment times. On that note, finally for this slide, bear in mind that when we do get back, we have to put all of our sensitive items into the arms room. We have to make sure we have everything, you know, $5,000 night vision optics and all of our rifles and all of that stuff has to be fully accounted for and safe before we can release your soldiers. So if I tell you that we're getting back at 4, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to leave until 7. So if you got kids or you don't want to wait around for 3, when we get back, we'll be focused primarily on recovering our vehicles, weapons, and equipment. For the most part, these will be normal days trying to get guys out by 4 p.m. But the priority is still to make sure the gear is ready to be used as soon as possible. And we went over it in the last FRG meeting. I'd really like to do a canned food drive throughout November, and Lieutenant Kelly is getting some information together for that, and we'll soon be pushing out to your soldiers what types of foods they can bring in if they choose to participate. And finally, keeping this meeting short, the pertinent contact information. Our troop rear detachment commander is Sergeant First Class Kevin Perkins. He can be reached at this email. And then if you need his phone number, you can email me or Rachel. If you've got Rachel's phone number, you can text her. And if you don't, you can email her at the Crazyhorse Troop 114 at gmail.com, and she'll shoot you her cell phone number. Again, I just don't want to put it on the internet for blast. So email her and she'll shoot you her number without hesitation, and then you can get all of the information you need about FRG events, or if you need help with something militarily, you can call Sergeant Perkins. If for some reason you can't reach Sergeant Perkins because he's out at EIB or he's got no cell phone reception or he's not responding to his email, then absolutely call this number, 253-966-5248. That'll get you the staff duty desk, who can reach the Squadron Rear Detachment Commander, First Lieutenant Jonas Passion. So call him if you need anything back here. And then if for some reason you feel like Rachel can't help you and Kevin can't help you and Jonas can't help you, then by all means email me. I'll be checking it periodically when we're back at the barracks, especially because we should have some internet access for me to get to my military mail. So that's about it for this pre-deployment brief. If you guys feel that you need to know anything more, just ask Rachel or email me. And other than that, we'll catch you when we get back toward the end of October. All right, we love you guys, and we'll see you soon.